before the end of this decade, a new technology will emerge and the future will be shown to us. I've already been warned many times to stay in my lane. Don't go into this, stay teaching people with my little cash flow game. You know, I'm talking about stay small or we'll stomp on you.
I won't talk about conspiracy, but something's fishy about this corona crisis. There's something very fishy. Why did they have to shut down the whole damn world? And I think it's because they're covering up something very, very big. And in September 2019, the shadow banking system collapsed. And that's why the Fed and the Treasury are printing tens of trillions of dollars all over the world. So when Corona appeared, I think it was an excuse to shut down the world economy to cover up what really happened. What is going on in the world right now has never happened in the history of the world. I mean, how can you shut down the whole world economy? So in March of 2020 was the biggest crash in world history of the stock market, but nobody knows anything about it because everybody's quarantined at home thinking about coronavirus and social distancing and wearing face masks. So people are missing out on one of the biggest catastrophic cash heists in the history of the world. They don't even know what's happening.
And then to have it come through via a virus, or what Nassim Taleb calls a black swan, even more dastardly, and then to shut down the whole world's economy and put millions of people out of work and destroy, small business owners, the lifeblood of the world, to save the rich, the really, really rich, is, I think, criminal. And yesterday I was drinking my JCB wine, celebrating with Kim. We made it. We're financially free, but more than anything else, we're prepared with a business that teaches financial education to the masses. You see, education is rigged, as you know. It's only if you have money. You know that, I know that. So if you live in a rich neighborhood, your schools get more money because the real estate pays for it. But you live in a poor neighborhood, you get the poorest education because the real estate taxes aren't high. So everything's about money, but for some reason, we don't teach money at school. But apparently somebody gave you something to get yourself out of this, and what the millennials have that I didn't have was an iPhone. The iPhone is the single most powerful. I cannot believe how much power that thing has. Holy mackerel. All you have to do is sync your brain to that iPhone. You have more power than you and I ever had when we were their age. Do you know what I mean? The trouble is, if they haven't gone to school and they have a teacher that is incompetent, and we've all had incompetent teachers, their brain and the iPhone are not synced into making money. Do you know what I mean? And if you can't make money with your iPhone, there's something wrong in your brain, not the iPhone's brain. And that's what I tell young people. So you and I are the news. What we're doing right now is the news. And COVID, bacteria, and the crash of the economy is the old news. It's the death. And that's the first words Fuller said to my class. In 1981, there was 100 of us. I was about 35 at the time. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, we are the news. What's in the newspaper is old. And what was in the newspaper at the time was Reagan and Star Wars and Russia and nuclear power and all that stuff. He says, that's the death of an old. And he said, before the end of this decade, which was 1980, a new technology will emerge and the future will be shown to us. And in 89, the World Wide Web came up. So exactly as he predicted. So all you young millennials out there and young people, you have the most powerful tool ever created in humanity. The question is, how are you going to use it? You can use that iPhone the way we're doing it right now to educate, to inspire, to teach. Or you can watch porno on it. What's up to you? And the question you and I are always asking is, how come people can't hear it? So the reason what Fuller said to me back in 81 to our class is we are the news. So today, as the world is collapsing behind of us, with the stock market and employment and businesses are collapsing, it's fake. It's not real. They're doing it to do it. Some of us will come out anti-fragile. We'll come out stronger, better, more able. And that's why I said, when I saw that iPhone come out, I said, all you millennials, or all you entrepreneurs out there, that cell phone is your lifeline out of this mess. Use it. Metamorphosis is like when a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. That's metamorphosis. And the definition of metamorphosis, you can look it up in the dictionary, is the transformation from an immature form to an adult form. Immature form to adult form. In other words, grow up. So for some of us, this crisis will grow up. We'll come out of it anti-fragile. We'll come out stronger.
This coronavirus thing, it's the end of the world as we knew it.
Well, I'm not going to go near that one. I've been warned.
This is really about the future. So I want you to pay attention. I don't care where you live in the world, because I think this is clear a vision of the future as possible. Watch the video, because otherwise words will not do it justice. Millions of people are now losing their jobs. They're losing everything. And when you look at, the worst advice is go to school to get a job, because in the information age, with Uber is not, you don't need to be an Uber driver because Uber doesn't need you. And one of the biggest employers are trucks. So all these truck drivers, who are going across the country and all this stuff, they don't need you. They can put something in there, and artificial intelligence will drive the truck for you. So the explaining with drones, you don't need pilots. A pilot in the Marine Corps, and I went to Pensacola, Florida, where I was trained, and they said we don't need pilots anymore. Instead of these big rooms where drone pilots said they can fly a number of drones. This is not the only time this has happened. It destroyed Zimbabwe, it's destroying Venezuela right now, destroyed Greece, and in modern times. And then World War II was created because the Weimar Republic, Germany, printed too much money. Same thing we're doing today. And when they printed so much money, they went to hyperinflation. And hyperinflation is an age-old story where a guy goes to the grocery store with a wheelbarrow full of money, and he runs in the store to go buy, or she runs into the store to buy some food, and he or she comes out, the money was still there, they stole the wheelbarrow. And I think really that's the lesson that people should listen to there, is the wheelbarrow is more important than your money, if you can know that. And throughout history, as the Romans have done it, they put fake metal inside coins. Nothing's changed. So it's not a new phenomenon. So what's going to happen if it keeps going up? The U.S. may default on its bond. The default means we can't pay you. And so that's why many countries now, different central banks like Bank of Japan, Bank of China, European Central Bank, they're getting a little spooked at the U.S. as we keep printing more money. They don't know we can pay our bonds. And that's what happened in September 2019. A shadow banking system went through. So I thought it was interesting that the Fed now rushes in to bail out the banking system you cannot see, and COVID virus pops up. Like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'm not going to go near that one. I've been warned. I don't know how long they're going to keep printing money and how much longer they're going to keep paying people to stay at home, and that's coming. But what's happening is the Fed is they're now saying to every company we're bailing out, like United Airlines or General Electric and all this, because the corporate CEOs ran their companies into the ground, like Boeing. When the Fed bails out Boeing, they're going to take part ownership of the company. That's communism. So right in front of our eyes right now, we can see capitalism, socialism, and communism. That's what I'm concerned about. And the average person without financial education from our schools can't see it. They can't see it. But that's the future.
If you have this idea of go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market, that's old. That's your prison. It's what people have put into your head. And so Kim was saying she was driving in today, and people are standing in the parking lots looking for jobs. But they're still operating on the old. And so a rich dad it's been really tough being Chicken Little, saying the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is... Well, the sky fell. This coronavirus thing, it's the end of the world as we knew it. We know it. And it's about time people grow up, So that means instead of trying to be an employee and have somebody take care of you, it might be an opportunity to grow up and take care of other people, to hire people, to provide jobs rather than look for a job. And that's my point of view. The problem is our school system doesn't provide you that education. They're still brainwashing you into becoming an employee or a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, heaven forbid. And I don't know if you know this, but accountants and lawyers are obsolete already because you don't really need them within artificial intelligence coming along. So our school system is obsolete, but so are the ideas in your head. So people call me a pessimist. I'm actually an optimist because I can see the future, and the future is very bright, but you have to let go of old ideas. Grow up. That's really the message from Rich Dad. Now, I know I piss a lot of people off when I say this. Well, you have no idea how hard it was for me. You have no idea how hard it is. I said, you have no idea how hard it is for Kim and I. We've been sued for $30 million. We've had people lie, cheat, and steal inside our company. So it hasn't been easy being an entrepreneur. So if you want it easy, go get a job with the government.